Florida State played their spring showcase on Saturday, and while Minderville doesn't do an actual game like most other programs, it still gives us a little glimpse at the team and most notably the new additions. Now we'll go over the good, the bad, and the unknown here, but keep in mind it's only April. This is only the 14th practice that a lot of these guys had together, so you can't expect it to be perfect. Now the biggest storyline going in and of course coming out is DJU. And while his box score wasn't necessarily elite, it is a bit skewed by drops, throwaways, and going up against a great secondary that also got away with some holds and some things like that. Which again, during a spring game, they're just going to let him play, so take all this for what it's worth. I think DJ looked good, honestly, and not just because of the N7 jerseys, which I actually thought were super clean. But he showed off his arm strength quite a few times. He moved in the pocket pretty well and just overall navigated the offense really good despite being new to the system. He protected the ball. I think the biggest story and cause for concern is the wide receiver room. They're young, and I think a lot of them are probably just not used to the kind of heat DJ puts on the ball. Malik Benson has some good flashes. I think we were all hoping that he was going to emerge as a potential wide receiver one. And I think he showed glimpses of that, but still hard to tell if that can be consistent. Now, I did go down out there at one point and didn't come back out. Of course, we don't know for sure and don't want to speculate too much, but it seemed like an ankle issue. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, and hopefully he gets back out there pretty soon. Now, his offensive line, even without a lot of the key pieces, Rob Scott didn't play. I didn't see a ton of Richie Leonard. I think the offensive line will be better than what we had in 2023. I think we'll see a return of the running game again, hopefully similar to like 2022 levels. Unfortunately, Cam Davis, true freshman, didn't play while nursing a light injury. It doesn't sound like that's anything serious, but always good to take the extra precautions. But Keziah, Roydell, and Lawrence Toafili all had some pretty good runs. I think LT was limited on purpose. There's really no reason to have him out there a lot. I think you kind of know what you have there. Keziah had a really good touchdown run where he lowered the shoulder and absolutely blew up Shaheem Brown. Roydell had a really good run, showing off some good vision. Guys, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I'm really, really excited about the addition of Roydell Williams. I think he's the real deal, and with this offensive line, I think he'll have a really good year. Now, on to the defense. That defensive line, especially the starting four, looked really, really good. Good to see Tamiwa inside most of the time. He looks a lot bigger than I thought, so I think he definitely takes that Dennis Briggs role and plays defensive tackle more than he does line up at edge. Speaking of edge, Marvin Jones Jr. He looks like the real deal for sure. Especially in the beginning there, he was in the back foot a lot. He had a pass breakup. His size and speed, it plays. And so far, he looks like exactly what we were hoping to get out of him. Linebackers played better than I expected. Juice Cryer actually impressed me a little bit. DJ Lundy looked pretty good. I think you'd still like to add one, and I think they will, but the way they looked on Saturday was at least a little better than what I was expecting. Now, the secondary. I think the secondary is absolutely a top unit in the country, and I think it's definitely the best in the ACC. Zaria Thomas, Fentrell Cypress, a lot of the young guys like Kai Bates even showed some promise. I think the secondary is elite, and we saw that on Saturday, which I think also adds to the issues for wide receivers and the low completion rate for DJ. It's probably the best secondary they're going to play all year, so I'm not too concerned there. Now, this being said, I think the team looks bigger, faster, very physical, and aggressive, and Minerville has said as much for a while now, so good to have that reaffirmed. These are always hard situations to gauge because, these spring games, rosters aren't full. We obviously didn't get to see Brock Glenn or Luke Cromenhawk, which was disappointing, but I think this team looked really, really good overall. I think you do need some additions in the portal still. I think you need to go get one or maybe even two wide receivers, especially depending on the severity of Malik Benson's injury. I think the need for a defensive tackle from the portal went down a little bit after seeing that group on Saturday, but you can still always go out there. You could always use an extra body there. I think they still try to go grab a linebacker and maybe another edge rusher. And you maybe even go get an offensive lineman if the right one pops up. We obviously saw the Alabama transfer Terrence Ferguson go down, which is unfortunate. I think everyone's real excited about him, so hope to see him back out there soon. But if not, you probably need to go add at least one more piece to that room. Now, all in all, I think we saw about what we expected. DJ looked good. This defense is elite. You probably need to go get a couple receivers if you can and try to get a true number one if someone else isn't going to step up. Linebackers looked okay, but you'd like to add some more there and just a couple more depth pieces throughout the whole roster, which, again, is about what we anticipated going into it. Hopefully the couple guys we did see go down, hopefully it's nothing too serious and they all bounce back quickly. Now, with portal additions, even though it opened up last week, due to BS sanctions, Florida State hasn't been allowed to contact players in the portal yet. So That actually ends Monday morning, so I'd expect that to pick up a lot this coming week. On the recruiting side of things, Florida State had a good list of prospects visiting. Usmane Croma finally got in for another visit. Four-star running back Byron Lewis was in attendance. A couple good blue chip receivers and offensive linemen. So all in all good stuff coming out of the weekend. Again, it's early, and a lot of these guys are new or super young. So the rust and kinks should all get worked out a little more as we get into the summer, and they get a lot more practice and chemistry together. I'm not super worried about the few issues I did see on Saturday. We appreciate you guys hanging out, but now I want to get your thoughts. What did you think of the showcase? What do you think of DJU? And what do you think the biggest weaknesses slash needs from the portal are for Florida State? Let me know down in the comments below, and let's talk Noles. We'll catch you guys on the next one.